Hello guys, Gravy here, and I'm going to be talking to you today about SellerAmp SAS, which is an alternative to Buybot Pro. I've previously done a recording in the Essential Software channel of the Gravy Train of Buybot Pro and deal analysis using it. Now SellerAmp is undoubtedly the most popular deal analysis software in the UK of Amazon sellers, and it's Buybot Pro's biggest rival, certainly. So I've given it a go. Let's give some balance here. I've used Buybot Pro for probably 2 years now, so I'm now on a trial for SellerAmp. I've been using it for a few days, and I'm looking to compare the two. This video really is. I don't want to be looking at Buybot Pro when comparing it too much to this, but it is inevitable that I will end up doing that. So let's have a look then. So SellerAmp, if you go to selleramp.com, you'll see, you'll come up with this page and you'll see that we've got a lovely landing page where it says SellerAmp SAS Sourcing Analysis Simplifies. That's what SAS stands for. They've got a little bit of text here. Easily understand key indicators to help you profitably source products to sell on Amazon, whether doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, or wholesale. SAS Analysis helps you quickly answer the key sourcing questions. Can I sell it? Does it sell? And is it profitable? I'm not going to look at the retail arbitrage side for this video because I'm sitting in my living room, so I can't really do that. But they do have the mobile app where you can actually, in a store, scan a barcode and it'll bring up the details similar to what we're going to see in this video. So you can actually do your deal analysis in the store, see if it's profitable. And a lot of guys in the Gravy Train and a lot of guys within the Twitter circle are already using the app for that purpose. You'll recognise the screenshots. So we're just going to look at the Chrome extension, and if we get time, maybe have a look at the web app, which is basically for sourcing from websites rather than being on Amazon. So let's have a look at pricing first, just so we get an idea of how much this costs. They do offer a free trial. I believe it's 14-day free trial. Yeah, free 14-day trial. And the prices are pretty good, you know, for what you get. They have like a beginner's package, I guess, of getting started, which is going to be very suitable for newcomers to Amazon, where you just get the 2 Chrome extensions and the 1 phone app, but you do get a limit of how many scans you can have per month. So if you break that down to 30 days, then that's what, 35 items you can scan a day, which might be alright for you when you're just starting off on Amazon. So I'd suggest to people that are new that they give that one a go, sign up to that. You can easily then upgrade to the Getting Serious, or let's call it a premium version, where you get unlimited scans per month. And if you've got some virtual assistants, I doubt you've got that many, but you've got a bit more room to extend the Chrome extensions without needing additional logins. You can get the monthly pricing, or you can get the yearly pricing, which works out £1 or £2 cheaper a month. But I'd suggest if you're new to a bit of software, you trial it, and then you make a decision on whether you want to go monthly or yearly. So let's go over to an Amazon listing and get stuck in. Okay, so once you've downloaded the Chrome extension, it's really straightforward. You'll get an email from SellerAmp, and you'll just have to enter all your details, and then you just get this SellerAmp Chrome extension come up. It's very, very easy to use. It's very, very customizable, which is one of the things I really like about it. I'm going to get onto that in a second. But for those who've never used deal analysis software before, this basically is an overlay, an extension to Chrome, which will appear on any page on Amazon that you load up. So if you go to an actual product page, this will automatically load. And what essentially we're seeing is all of the details that exist within the data of this Amazon listing. So it's pulling a lot of details that Keeper already shows. This is a Keeper graph. If you've not watched and learned anything about Keeper yet, then you need to brush up on that, because that's probably the most important bit of software you have on Amazon. But SellerAmp will pull a lot of the information from there and present it in a nice format. It's also pulling a lot of information from the sellers that are on the listing. So you can see here, there's 20 sellers, third-party sellers currently on this listing. And it's actually pulling that across to a nice broken down version. So let's run through some of these things. So this is a Jellycat item. Now, I don't sell this item. I don't know anybody that does. I literally just pressed through on Amazon and found this item. So sorry if anybody's selling this. I don't know where you can get it from. Apologies. So we have this Jellycat item, and up here you've got all of the essential details, reviews, ASIN, EAN, etc., which is really handy if you want to do a reverse search. You can actually press that, I guess, copy it. Yeah, there'd be something where you can copy that EAN and do an easy search on it. Other things, you've got dimensions, which are quite handy if you're thinking about small and light and you just want to check if it falls within those parameters. That's helpful. A few other bits of info, not really bothered about. We're already on the product page. You can search on Google here. Rather than selecting this, right click in search Google, you can just press that, open up a new tab and search by the title, which is quite handy. And then you can also go to the web app if you want to further look into this item. Now, below this, we've got lots of customizable and movable areas. If you want to jump to any of these, you can just do it by clicking on these here. Like we can jump to VAT settings by pressing on this, and it opens it up, which is quite handy. Or we can go to this one, profit calculator. That's quite handy to use. What I do, I actually customize it and have any of the information that I want showing. So you can easily do that by going down, all the way down here to the bottom of SellerAmp window, and you can press on the settings and you can actually tick and remove anything you don't want. I'll quickly show you that. So you go down to the bottom of the settings, you can see all of these are turned on and these ones are turned off. I don't need the charts because I'll see the keeper charts. Don't need the variations because I'll use the keeper data for the variations, and various other things. You can also move them around. So if you want, let's say you want the profit calculator high, you just highlight that and move it up, and that'll be reflected when you go back to the actual overlay out of the settings. Okay, so we're back here in our overlay. If you don't like this on the right hand side, remember this is going to auto load up. If you don't like it on the right hand side, what you can do is press one of these buttons down here and actually move where it sits. So you move it to the middle, which is quite nice if you're scrolling down and you just want to have a look at the graph. I like it on the right because that means as I scroll down the screen, it stays where it is and I can actually look at the keeper chart. You can also have it up there, which is more of a embedded on the page. You can have it on the left, which feels very alien, so I'm not doing that. Or you can actually move it wherever you want, which again, don't know why you'd really want to change that. So yeah, just put it where you're comfortable with it. For me, on the right hand side is great. I can then see all of the actual buy box on Amazon that customers see, which is great because with things like BuyBot Pro, it squashes it down the bottom, which is not handy. It just involves more scrolling. So I quite like seeing that. You can actually see who holds the buy box, who's actually the other sellers, and you've got the keeper graph right there. So going into this is the quick info section. Now these are actually what we call conditional formatting boxes. So if you've ever used spreadsheets to any extent, you'll know that you can make it so if a certain number shows or above a certain number, it will go a certain color. The cells will go a certain color. That's exactly what this does. So green means good on SellerAmp. You can set your parameters then. So if you say I want anything above £2 profit to go green, anything above 20% ROI to go green, you can quite easily adjust that in the settings where it actually then becomes really tailored to your requirements as a sourcer or a seller on Amazon. So that's really helpful if you just want that instant snapshot of good or bad deal. Having those colours in there are great. So let's say, for example, this is actually selling for £15. Well, we're losing money. It goes red straight away. £20, not too bad. Let's go 18, 19. Yeah, so for me, my parameters, I'm happy with 50 pence as long as the ROI is decent, the BSR is decent. But for some of you, that might be red. So when you load this up, by default, what it's going to do is it's going to put the buy box price in there as a sale price. That will automatically be added. All you need to do is add in the cost price of where you found this item. So let's say you found this on a website and you're thinking, right, can I sell it and make money? All you need to do is put in the cost price just here. Let's say we found this for £12, and then this automatically does its thing. It does the calculation for you, includes all of the Amazon fees, the referral fee, the closing fee if there is one, the FBA fee, and any storage fees, that sort of thing. It automatically includes it in the calculations and tells you that's how much money you can make at the current buy box price. What I really, really like about this, and one of the reasons that I think this trumps a lot of its competitors, is the speed of analysis, which is really important to me, to virtual assistants, to anybody really who's using software like this. You want speed. I don't know much about coding or much about things like overlays like this, but this is an instant thing. If you change the price, it automatically updates it. It doesn't need to load, doesn't need to analyze things that other bits of software need to do. This is instant, which I really, really like about it. It's a big factor for me. VAT settings. This, again, you can edit this in the settings. If you're not VAT registered, you can go into the settings and just put yourself down as not registered. A lot of confusion around this is if you're a sole trader or a limited company, and you're actually a business, you should not be paying VAT on selling fees on Amazon. So if you've contacted Amazon and said to them, I'm a business, and they stop charging you VAT on seller fees, you should actually be selecting not applicable. It makes a big difference, guys, to selecting not applicable compared to not registered. If you just look at the profit there, 941, not applicable, not registered, 769. It's a big difference. So let's just, I'll just repeat that. If you are not VAT registered and you've contacted Amazon and they've agreed that you are not paying VAT on selling fees, you need to select not applicable. If you're an individual, you're not a business yet, you just started Amazon, you're not a sole trader, it's very likely you're going to be not registered. If you are VAT registered, standard rate. Now, one thing I'm going to say as a negative on this that I've seen, and I have actually spoke to SellerAmp. Well, I've messaged them, I haven't spoke to them, and hopefully they'll get this change in place. You can't actually toggle between a cost price that's including VAT or excluding VAT, which is a small gripe of mine. I do a lot of wholesale, other people do a lot of wholesale, and you get prices excluding VAT. So when you're searching on your deal analysis software, let's say this was £10 plus VAT, you would enter £10 as the price. Let's say it was £11 plus VAT, you enter 11 as the price. And then you'd have a little button that would say excluding or excluding, or wholesale / retail, that software such as BuyBot Pro does have, just near the cost price. If you have that selected, it will then automatically just do a quick calculation for you. Oh, 11 plus 20% equals whatever. With SellerAmp, we have to actually do that manual calculation. So I'd have to do 11 times 1.2. My actual cost price, including VAT, is 13.2. That just takes a few more seconds for me and is a small gripe I have. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a small gripe. If you want to get around this, you can do that manual calculation. SellerAmp have actually also said to me that you can actually use these VAT on cost toggles, which really is there for anybody who buys stock before being VAT registered, then sell it when they are. It's really used for that. I think that was his intended purpose. But the calculations work out the same. So if you don't want to just do a quick calculation and you want to put your before VAT price in, just whack that on and it will actually adjust it with the same calculation. So small gripe, but hopefully they get that added in. This is the offer section, which is the bit that we probably going to look at the most after we look at the profit and the ROI. This is where we look at our competitors, so we can actually see who else of these 20 are on the listing. We can look at the other FBA sellers who come up in green. We have FBM sellers that come up in yellow. These are all FBA sellers. If there were FBM, you can toggle between prime only and just see them, because if you're selling FBA, that's probably going to be your only competition. So we can look at who the sellers are. Always going to have the buy box order at the top, and then the rest will be ranked in price order. We can see their current stock level, and if they have a plus sign here, this means that the person's put an order limit on, and they probably have a lot more stock than that. So you often see people with an order limit of 3 or 5, And then on SellerAmp, they display that with a plus symbol if they've actually got a lot more. So it's worth noting that. You may think they have 5 in stock, but they could have 500 for all you know. You then have the price that these guys have got it listed at, and the profit and the ROI. So you can start to see, all right, if I want to sell at $29.99 or $39.99, I'm going to be quite far down the list. I also love this feature where you can actually see more than 10 sellers. I am comparing it to another bit of software. You can only see 10. But for me, this is great. You can actually just press load more and it will load up all of the sellers on the list. And you can go all the way down to every single seller. So if there was 50, you could load up 50. If you want to be selling this at $39.99, then you know you're going to be bottom of the list. And you can do a rough calculation of how much stock is there. Consider the estimated sales, which you'll be able to see down here in ranks and prices. So this estimates 25 sales per month. It also has the estimated, where is it? Has the number of drops per month, which is 28. I quite like looking at the drops per month figure. Bear in mind that this figure on Keeper is based over the last 90 days, averaged out, whereas this is based over the last 30 days. So really, I prefer this information, and I'll trust this more for recent sales velocity over this, which is based over the last 90 days. I really like that. BSR's pulled straight from Keeper. Buy box, we already know that. Number of sellers. Number of buy box changes in the last 30 days. So you can actually see it's got a cumulative amount there. There's been 31 increases in price and 9 decreases in price. That's really quite interesting then, because that suggests to me that the price is rising. And if you actually look at the Keeper graph for the last month, yeah, there's been some, the last 30 days, there's been a few price rises. It suggests more than there has been drops. The drops are more significant in price, but it has gone up a few times. You can look at that. You can look at the Keeper data and compare that. It's just a nice bit of extra info if you want to use it. Down here, we've got some alerts. It will link up if you put your Amazon token in the settings. It will link up the Amazon store and say, yes, you're eligible to sell it. Hazmat, no. Dangerous goods, no. Amazon share buy box. Again, you can look at that, or you can use Keeper and just look at the info on there. No known IP issues. I would also always suggest you do your own analysis for IP. Don't trust another bit of software. Standard size, multiple note variations. No. If you really like this item, okay, I'm going to buy 10 of these, really like this product. Rather than going into your Amazon inventory and having to add it manually, you can just press add product there, and it will take you straight through, if you're logged in, to your Amazon catalog, and it will start trying to add it to the inventory for you, which is quite handy. Inventory will just take you to your inventory if you've got any already. Orders will take you to your manage orders if you've already ordered this before. This is a nice little addition, Seller Toolkit. So SellerAmp partnered up with Seller Toolkit, or STK, as a lot of you will know it by, and STK actually have SellerAmp integrated into their platform, and vice versa. So the real advantage of this is if you've got this ASIN currently within Seller Toolkit, so in other words, you've been selling it on Amazon, what this will do, it will show in this section of SellerAmp how many sales you've had of this in the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I'm not actually sure what it's going to show. And it will also show how much stock you currently have as well, which is quite helpful for you. Rather than going back to Seller Toolkit and checking that info, you can actually just look at it within the pop-up here. I really like that. It's great for just double checking, oh, I've got this item. So if you've got 200, 300 ASINs, you might forget. So there we go. That's the main overlay. As you can see, this is currently in dark mode, which a lot of people love dark mode. It's in the beta of dark mode, but I think it looks great. I think it looks really, really good. And I'll be happy to continue using it in dark mode. If you want to check profit calculator, you can do. You can change your fulfillment type to FBM. As soon as you do that, it'll pop up this where you can put in your shipping cost if you're using a courier. you can have a default storage months figure set here. Excuse me. So if you're one of these people who shift stock very quickly, you might have it set as default to 1 month. If you're a bit slower, it might be 3 months. Obviously, the longer it's there in Amazon, the more the cost. So it's working out an additional cost to add into the deal analysis. You can override that at any point by just sliding this along. Okay, I'm going to hold these for a long time. So it affects the profit margin a little bit. Here we have other info such as the maximum cost you should buy it for based on the current selling price, which is handy. So it's almost like a reverse of the break even. Break even, which I love. I've spoke about this before. I would love Keeper to somehow allow you to overlay a break even price on the graph. So it would come up with a line saying this is the lowest I can sell at. That would be great, but they don't. So that is telling you based on this cost price, you need to sell for at least £19.34 to break even. So you can actually take that info, look at it, and visualize it on this graph and think, right, in the last 3 months, it's been nowhere near down as low as £19. So very unlikely, touch wood, I'm going to lose money on this deal if I buy it at £11. No history of Amazon coming to stock recently. So yeah, it has a very low downside to it. That's the kind of deal we like. So if we go over to the settings, guys, just a couple of things to show you how to change them around so they come up as they are on the front overlay. This is where you need to put your VAT settings in. So this is going to be by default. There's going to be a reduced rate automatically calculated. If you do get a 0% VAT item that you're sourcing, you're going to have to manually change that on the front. Otherwise, you will completely throw off your figures. This is where you put your buying criteria in. So this is a maximum BSR. Minimum BSR, I can't see any reason why you'd do anything other than 0 there. Maximum BSR, put 2%. Really, most of us shop with 1%, the lowest 1%, because that's where you're going to find the items that sell more per month. But some categories such as home and kitchen and the like, 2% BSR in the UK can still be really good. So I just put that in there to just give myself more opportunities to have the green conditional formatting, because we all like to see green rather than red. Minimum profit you can put in, mine's set at 50p, minimum ROI 4%. This does nothing, guys, rather than change the colours that come up when you get your results. So it doesn't matter if you don't amend that. Important you put this in. If you're using a prep centre, make sure that you put your prep centre fee in. Mine's in at 66p, including VAT. Miscellaneous fee, I'm not sure what to use that for. I don't use it for anything at all. Inbound shipping fee. This is one of those things that a lot of you forget to include. It costs money to send things into Amazon, FBA. You've got the cost of boxes. You've got the cost of shipping with the courier. You'll all have your own calculations for this. You'll all buy your own boxes or reuse boxes that may be less, maybe more. You may use different couriers. All you need to do is work out the average weight of the box that you normally send in and then divide it by cost of box if you're buying them plus shipping or vice versa, and come up with a figure per kilogram. Doesn't need to be precise. Doesn't make a huge difference, especially on these lighter items. The cost of that, I mean, look, what's this going to weigh? 200 grams? Might be, 15p, 10p is going to add on to the deal. But for heavier items, really important that you do actually add that in. The other thing that I'll note, guys, for you is Google Sheets. This does link into Google Sheets, which if you want to use a deal sheet, i.e. you're finding multiple deals per day and you don't want to write them down everywhere, you can just export all of these details into a customizable Google Sheet. So you can export whatever fields you want. The most common ones are going to be buy price, sell price, ROI, profit, link to the Amazon page, a space so you can put the suppliers page in, description, all sorts of things like that. And then you can actually apply your conditional formatting to that spreadsheet if you like. So if you want to set that up, all you have to do is press configure. I've actually got one here I've already created, which is for me and my personal source and VA's deal sheet. And all you need to do is create a new sheet. Unfortunately, you can't link it to an existing Google sheet, which is a pain if you've been using one for a while. You want to keep all that info. What I suggest you do is you create this new sheet and then copy the tab from the old one over onto the new a new sheet on your new Google sheet, so a new tab, and maybe set it as an archive or something so you can keep track of all of those deals if you ever need to cross-reference. But yeah, new Google sheet is going to be created when you do that, and then you'll just need to map all of the fields. Really simple. It's just going to map the columns that you want in the spreadsheet, and it will pull that information from SAS. Really quite simple then to use. Once you've got that set up and saved, I've moved that to the top just here. All you need to do is press export once this deal's been analysed, and it will just copy all of these details, all these figures, link to this Amazon page over to your spreadsheet. You can have more than one spreadsheet if you want. So if you've got 3 people using SellerAmp with all of the same settings in there, you can actually have 3 different spreadsheets that they get exported to. So it will come up with their names here, name of the spreadsheet. And whoever's using it can just press on it, export it to their spreadsheet. Overall, I think it's a fantastic tool. I'm very impressed with it. I know a lot of people used it for a long time. I'm going to probably continue using it. It does work out cheaper than competitors on the market. Nice 14-day trial if you're not sure about it. It's very quick, which is very important to me. It's very customizable, and to a lot of you lot, the dark mode is going to be an actual deal breaker. So I really like the dark mode too. The other handy tool with SellerAmp is the web app. So this is great for doing things the other way around. When you're actually looking for deals on websites, you can actually check to see what they're selling for on Amazon. Rather than going manually looking for the Amazon listing, you can actually do it whilst you're actually on the website. So I've just gone to TK Maxx here. I never go to TK Maxx, so don't suddenly think it's some absolute gold mine of deals, because it probably isn't. There's a lot of crap here. But let's have a look, see if we can find any of these on Amazon by using SellerAmp. What you need to do really here is find something you can highlight. Every website's different. I do like the ones where you can just press highlight on that landing page. You've got multiple ones you can highlight. But it looks like TK Maxx, you've got to go into each item. Once you're in there, you just need to select some text that you're going to search on Amazon. So you just select that, then you right click, you go down to SAS search, and it will come up, hopefully, with that item on Amazon. Now this one hasn't come up with the exact item, probably because it doesn't have the model number in it. So if you need to actually amend it, you can just go up here and type in, was it 70231? Yeah. Type that in there, hit enter, and there we go, it's brought it up. So that is the listing on Amazon that this item relates to. So the BSR on Amazon is 1%, which is great. That's what we're looking for. 35k is actually the BSR ranking. It's telling us the maximum cost should be £12.57 for us to make some money. I really like that then. That's actually telling us, based on the parameters that we put in of our minimum profit, which I had as 50p, minimum ROI 4%, it's telling me that I need to buy it for a maximum of £12.57 for me to be able to hit those profit and ROI targets. That, I think, is a fantastic addition, which really, really helps. Because normally what I'd do looking at deals like this, okay, it's currently selling for $22.99. I'd normally then press through and see, okay, I can buy it then for 21. Well, obviously I know I can't make money, but let's say this was £13. I'll then go through to the Amazon listing, which would be up here, and I'll then type the data in again to see if I can make money. Whereas here, I know straight away, okay, I'm not going to make any money. If I was buying for £14, I probably still wouldn't make money. So I really like that addition. Now let's say we could buy this for £12. This probably looks like a good deal. So all we need to do is press on this here, open on Amazon product page, and it's going to take us straight through to the page where we can then enter the details that we just found. Let's say £12, and you can see we're going to make 8% and 98p. So it's a nice little quick way of getting to the deal on Amazon. You could also press on the Google buttons here, so you can search for this item, taking the description from Amazon on Google or on Google Shopping, which just saves a bit of time, guys. That's all it does, and I'm all for time saving. So there you go. That's how you use SellerAmp's web app, which is great for manual sourcing. Hopefully it's helped you understand how deal analysis software like SellerAmp SAS can really help you find and analyse good deals on Amazon. If you've got any questions, please DM me on Twitter, in the Gravy Train Discord, or wherever you can find me. Cheers!